Meet Abby. She and her best friend Rico dreamed of owning a restaurant. So in 2005, they bought Down City in the heart of Providence, Rhode Island. The problem? Customers weren't coming in. And to make matters worse, Abby was a stubborn and hot-headed owner who didn't listen to anyone. Rico, her staff, unhappy customers, and even Gordon.
You stuck-up precious little bitch!
It even got to the point where she told Gordon to leave the restaurant after just 17 minutes, and he happily obliged.
I don't even talk to my staff like this. Why don't you get the fuck out of my restaurant?
Want me to go?
I would love you to go.
I will go.
Get the fuck out of my restaurant, please.
In a restaurant that happened to be the scene of one of the biggest fights in Kitchen Nightmares history, we will recap the episode, look at what happened to the restaurant and staff after the episode and where they are now. Things don't get off to a good start, as you probably predicted. Gordon meets Abby, who states that while she can't cook anything herself, the food at Down City is a 10 out of 10. That's welcome news for Gordon, who complained of shocking room service at the hotel next door, which just so happens to be room service provided by Down City.
Disgusting.
Whoa, I was like, oh damn, he went there. He just really went there.
Abby was shocked and wasn't having any of it. She tells Gordon he's wrong and that he's one of those customers she would fire immediately. Wait, you can fire customers now? The fireworks have officially started. Before Gordon looks to get seated, Abby asks to suggest something.
I don't want you to suggest anything, because if you're now telling me that that room service was you at your best, I'm shitting myself before I start eating.
Wow.
Let me tell you that.
An employee tells Gordon they serve comfort food middle of the road, which rubs Abby the wrong way. Gordon proceeds to ask when the last time a customer sent food back, only to learn it was the table next to him. Not a good sign, as Abby can be seen fuming internally. She's already on the defensive, which Ramsay can see a mile away.
Let's get one thing clear, cut the bullshit. If you're going to sit there and start bullshitting me, I'm going to go for your balls.
Abby isn't backing down. She says she thinks Gordon is full of crap. Gordon responds that she's in denial and is finally able to get her away so that he can order on his own. Abby leaves while quietly stating she can't wait for Rico to get there. Gordon is greeted with a friendly face in Josh, who confirms that Abby has always been that defensive. Gordon goes on to order calamari, while pointing out that peppers is spelt wrong on the description, three-way nachos, and the restaurant's award-winning meatloaf.
He's like, is this how you spell peppers in America? 3P, because it's B-E-P-P?
Yeah.
There's 3 P's in there.
There it is.
The dining room manager, Jason, then greets Gordon and says that the food is below par, contrary to Abby's claims. The calamari arrives soon after, and Gordon points out how wet it is and that the batter is coming off. Jason explains that it's fried and then tossed in sauce, which is not his cup of tea. Gordon takes one bite and then puts it back on the plate and says he's done with it. Josh arrives with the three-way nachos soon after, and you guessed it, it doesn't look appetizing at all.
It looks dreadful. I think I've just thrown up in my mouth.
Billed as a party in your mouth, but for Gordon, it was more like a funeral. Abby learns that they're now 2 for 2 in horrible dishes and says she's ready to jump. But for now, it looks like she's waiting for the award-winning meatloaf to redeem herself. It looks good enough that Gordon doesn't comment on its appearance, but he does note how the dish barely moves with the plate. And surprise, surprise, it tastes bad. He describes it as lukewarm, solidified chunks of crap. What award did this meatloaf win exactly? To make matters worse, Josh admits it's embarrassing to have to serve it, especially with it being billed as award-winning. Gordon later learns there is no head chef as Abby fired the last one, with another chef, Jimmy, taking over, but not being given the official title until he proved himself. Abby reveals she came up with the menu and tells Gordon to fix it. Gordon says that it can't be done when she claims the food is 10 out of 10. Abby continues to be in denial, so Gordon leaves for some fresh air. Abby takes time to reflect on her own before she is handed the harsh truth from her employees that they always found the menu to be horrible. If they said anything before, she'd just tell them to F off.
I feel stabbed in the back, I guess.
Rico arrives and Gordon returns soon after and they chat. Rico works a day job in finance and basically needs the restaurant to succeed or things will get bad. The work begins and Gordon inspects the kitchen. He notices a dirty workstation and goes downstairs to find even more atrocities with the meat in what he can only call a filthy mess. He tells Abby and Rico, which leads to Abby wanting to quit right there.
So why don't we just sell the place and just get out of this business?
Gordon doesn't take that comment too well. This leads to even more fireworks between Gordon and Abby. Both call each other insane. Abby then has had enough.
Get the fuck out of my restaurant, please!
You are so in denial. You need therapy.
A shocked Rico goes out to speak to Gordon, who says he's not jeopardizing 25 years of work to take that from someone so in denial. Rico admits he has a hard time to get Abby to listen at all and tells Gordon he doesn't want him to leave. He promises to do whatever it takes to help Gordon. Abby, meanwhile, is finding it hard to get to grips with being told her life's work is terrible. Yet, she finally decides to listen to Gordon as they have a heart-to-heart.
I've had failure in my life, but one thing I'm not in is denial, and when I do make a mistake, I admit it.
The next day, Gordon encourages the staff members to talk freely about their concerns, and also to ask anonymous questions that he will direct to the person they want it asked to. Abby is already fearing the worst. The main concern is a large menu, while Abby admits to being defensive about coming up with it. However, she is open to embracing change. The first change starts with Gordon taking off half the items on the menu, as well as introducing a roasted chicken special. Gordon's presence means an increase in customers, and the newly skimmed menu is already having an impact. The appetizers are delivered quickly, while Abby is calm and composed for a change. However, Jimmy, the acting head chef, is struggling and things are starting to slow down. After a great start, diners are now losing their patience as they wait for their meals, some of them waiting as long as over an hour. Customers start to leave, and Abby is starting to lose it, especially with Jimmy.
Jimmy doesn't have any excuses anymore. His excuse for months has been, our menu is too big.
The smaller menu isn't helping either. Still, the staff somehow manage to get the last main courses out. But Jimmy gets an earful from Abby after, who calls it the worst shit show she's ever seen. There is still work to be done. Gordon says he's bringing in his own chef, James, to help the team out, as well as relaunching a brand new menu. The next day, James dishes out brand new appetizers and main courses that even gets Abby excited.
Isn't that awesome?
Oh my God, that's unbelievable.
Abby is in tears as she hugs Rico. But the real test begins later that night, especially with the food critic, Stacy, returning at Gordon's request. Jimmy is doing much better with the help of James, but things start slowing down once again. To make matters worse, Stacy, the food critic, was still waiting on her appetizers and was tweeting from her table. With pressure from Gordon, who sees Stacy's tweet on his BlackBerry, things start to improve, and Stacy, along with the other diners, are eventually impressed with the food.
My dream just came true. I'm in absolute shock. Like, this is the restaurant I've always wanted.
Abby is delighted and even praises Jimmy. Gordon congratulates everyone and even gets a hug from Abby. Gordon departs with the belief that if Abby can maintain her positive change, things will only go up for the restaurant. Chef James stays on to train the team, and Jimmy eventually gets promoted to head chef. The initial episode, shot in December 2010, concludes on an upbeat note. That same month, Abby was interviewed by a local magazine under the headline, "Ramsay to the Rescue, Abby Cabral of Down City wakes up from a kitchen nightmare." Abby praised Chef Ramsay's new menu for Down City as the most substantial change made on the show. In particular, dishes introduced like the lobster mac and cheese, which has become a real crowd favorite, as well as the goat cheese truffle dip appetizer, served with homemade potato chips. And of course, the bacon-wrapped meatloaf. Abby ends the article by predicting that the upcoming 2011 will be the year that Down City makes its comeback. A few weeks later, during a January 2011 interview with a local newspaper, under the headline, "Kitchen Nightmare was a dream for Down City," Abby humorously remarked about her stint on the show, playfully noting that she kicked out Ramsay 4 times during the filming process. She further expressed appreciation for the menu updates by Ramsay, noting they were a step up. She predicted, once the episode airs, business will boom. Concluding her thoughts, she said, "I feel like I own a brand new restaurant." Fox aired the episode in March 2011, 3 months after Ramsay's visit. It was broadcast as the 7th episode in the 4th season of Kitchen Nightmares.
What happens when a chef decides to give his honest opinion about your restaurant, whether you want to hear it or not?
Hectic, stressful, a lot more than we expected.
But it's really nervous because, number one, I'm meeting Chef Ramsay. He's a huge celebrity. He's coming to my restaurant, and I knew what I was in for. But he did come down on me the hardest because I take responsibility for everything that goes on in this restaurant, whether it's the front of the house or the back of the house.
All the changes that were made were in the kitchen with the menu, with the food, the way the kitchen worked.
Overall, Down City has felt that their experience with Chef Ramsay and the show was a positive one.
It was a good experience. We got a really, really great menu out of it. I think we all learned a lot. Overall, it was a really great experience.
It's clear that this kitchen took their nightmare and turned it into a dream.
He turned around our restaurant in 4 days, and I couldn't have done that without him coming here.
You can check out their episode of Kitchen Nightmares. It airs tonight at 8 right here on Fox.
Yelp organized one of their elite events, titled Kitchen Dreams at Down City, in celebration of the episode's release. This event was all about giving these Yelp stars a taste of something new and exciting, with sneak peeks at cool places and delicious food. It was a great chance for these Yelp reviewers to meet up, share stories, and enjoy some perks, all while helping, or should I say Yelping, to shine a light on local businesses. That evening, overall, the Yelpers highlighted the excellence of both the food and the service provided by the wait staff and chefs. On the downside, some attendees expressed disappointment with Abby's demeanor. They noted that she seemed unenthusiastic about their presence, failing to greet them and appearing unsociable for an owner. Rather than playing the role of a hostess, she was seen busying herself with clearing tables. After the episode aired, Stacey Place, the food blogger featured in it, sparked some controversy with her role. Back in 2011, when the episode was filmed, live tweeting events as they happened, especially from a dinner table, was not as common as it is now. Stacey was ahead of her time, capturing the episode's moments on her phone. When Stacey tweeted, "Waiting for our appetizers, getting hungry, come on," Ramsay responded by taking a moment to show Abby his BlackBerry, pointing out the tweet to her. On March 9th, 2 days before the episode's broadcast, she posted an entry on her blog. She couldn't reveal certain specifics due to the non-disclosure agreement, but she offered a glimpse behind the scenes, including her favorite moment when she tweeted Gordon Ramsay was missing. He came up behind her, tapped her on the shoulder, and whispered in her ear, "I was in the bathroom." She received so many responses to her blog post that she posted a follow-up 2 days after the episode on March 13th, saying she had received many nice emails and Twitter comments, and also some not nice things. She said it was amazing working with Gordon Ramsay, and even posted photos from a scene with Chef Ramsay that didn't make it to the final cut. The debate centered on her use of a cell phone at the dinner table. However, she clarified to her audience that her phone usage was specifically for the Kitchen Nightmares episode, as the producers were keen on capturing her live tweeting during the filming. In July 2011, Gordon Ramsay returned to Down City in the 6th revisited episode of Kitchen Nightmares. Gordon enters a packed house upon his return to the Rhode Island establishment. He's greeted by a happier and stress-free Abby. She tells him sales have increased at least 33% since he was there last. She also says that she no longer shouts and demands things be her way or the highway with the staff. Chef Jimmy continues to be held in high regard as the head chef by Abby and Nico. Gordon is happy to see the food is organized well in the back, and once he actually tries the food, he gives his verdict: delicious.
To get Gordon Ramsay's seal of approval, I mean, it really means everything to me.
While discussing the restaurant's owners, Chef Ramsay senses underlying tension between them. He learns from Rico that, although Abby has stopped yelling at the staff, she now directs her anger towards him more frequently.
Abby, there's me thinking that you're a complete change, turnaround, amazing woman, and you slip back into your old ways.
No, I didn't.
Gordon persuades Abby to apologize to Rico, emphasizing the importance of their partnership and the inappropriateness of her behavior towards him. The revisited episode concluded with a heartfelt embrace between Chef Ramsay and Abby, who maintains a high regard for him.
I want to thank him. He was a lifesaver, because Down City is my life. I really like him a lot. He's a cool guy.
The revisited episode aired on October 21st, 2011 in Season 5 of Kitchen Nightmares. Publicly, at least, Abby and Down City continued to bask in praise and positive mention in the media for much of 2011. Things appeared to be looking up. The restaurant had weathered the tough economic times of the 2008-2010 recession, which, by then, household spending on dining out was bouncing back to pre-recession levels. The restaurant was once again the talk of the city's dining scene. Everything seemed to be on the right track for Abby, Rico, and Down City. But was it really? Beneath the surface, in the shadows of their online reviews, lurked ominous signs of deeper troubles. Examining feedback from the period following the filming of Kitchen Nightmares, several common concerns become evident for Down City. First, there were notable comments regarding service quality and staff attitude. This reviewer said, Service was slow and our waiter was rude, recounting how the waiter even walked away mid-conversation. Second, changes to the menu post-kitchen nightmares were a point of contention amongst long-standing customers. Some felt unsettled by the alterations, with a reviewer mentioning the reintroduction of old menu items, leading to confusion and unavailability of certain dishes. The reviewer got the impression that this was not an isolated incident either. Lastly, there were observations about the management style, particularly that of Crabby Abby. Reviewers like Cassie B pointed out concerns about management approaches, noting, "It appears that the owner is still micromanaging the kitchen staff, demanding when food will be ready." This sentiment was echoed by others, who mentioned, "We had to keep hearing the owner yelling for the food to the window." On December 10, 2011, almost exactly a year after Ramsay's initial visit, and less than 2 months after it was featured on Kitchen Nightmares The Revisited episode, Down City closed its doors for good. While Abby, to my understanding, did not publicly specify the reasons for the closure, she did leave a heartfelt message on her website. "I want to thank everyone and anyone that has ever walked through the doors of Down City. What owning Down City has meant to me, words cannot describe." In the article, Abby Cabral of Down City wakes up from a kitchen nightmare, written a year before the closure, Abby cited the struggling economy as one of the factors impacting the restaurant's outcome. Many reviewers also highlighted a range of external difficulties faced by Down City during that period, including cash flow problems stemming from the Great Recession, which significantly affected restaurants at the time. After Down City's closure, the space welcomed a new culinary venture, Circe. The first stop for Circe was revamping the venue's appearance. The once vibrant orange branding of Down City was replaced with a palette of neutral grays and whites, signaling a fresh start. Circe's menu, characterized by a fusion of American cuisine with Mediterranean influences, has been well received. Online feedback reflects this, with Circe boasting a 4.1 rating on Yelp and an impressive 4.5 stars on TripAdvisor. The sustained positive response from patrons suggested that Circe has found a winning formula. This is further evidenced by its longevity. Over a decade later, Circe continues to thrive in a space that once saw different fortunes, a testament to its appeal and adaptability in a competitive culinary landscape. What happened to Jimmy, Rico, and Abby following the closure of Down City? Chef Jimmy, known for his culinary expertise, took his talents to the Roy, a popular local bar and restaurant famed for its live music scene. However, a few years later, in 2014, the Roy closed its doors. Transitioning from his career in the culinary world, Chef Jimmy chose a different path. As indicated on his Facebook profile, he left his chef duties behind and ventured into the construction industry. This career shift marks a significant change from his days in the kitchen, reflecting a new chapter in his professional life. Best of luck to Chef Jimmy in his latest career path. Shifting focus to Rico, who hasn't been in the spotlight much so far. A 2011 article revealed that it was actually Rico's suggestion to appear on Kitchen Nightmares, and he was the driving force behind Abby's decision to participate in the show. This bit of info kind of puts Abby's quick dismissals of Ramsay's critiques into perspective, doesn't it? In the Kitchen Nightmares episode, it was noted that Rico was working another job during the day, leaving Abby to manage the restaurant. Rico has maintained his career in the mortgage industry, continuing as a mortgage loan officer. He's achieved notable success, earning accolades and awards. Notably, in 2018, he received the Mass Housing Gold Medal for aiding first-time homebuyers and promoting affordable home ownership. That year also marked a career shift for Rico. After 14 years with his previous employer, he joined Bay Coast Mortgage. His hard work paid off quickly. In 2019, he was promoted to Vice President, Senior Loan Officer. With over 25 years in the industry, Rico has impressively closed nearly $500 million in mortgages. Way to go, Rico. Last but not least, let's talk about the star of the show, Crabby Abby. What happened to her after Down City's journey ended? Abby Cabral resumed her role working as a personal trainer at a gym with locations in Rhode Island and the surrounding areas. Abby's bio indicates she's been a personal trainer since 2001 and competed in the 1995 New England Women's Overall Bodybuilding Competition. Here's to Abby's success. May it be as enduring as her fitness journey. DownCity's experience on Kitchen Nightmares highlights the challenging nature of restaurant turnarounds, with struggles often outweighing triumphs. The episode serves as a reminder of the difficulties inherent in revitalizing a restaurant.